let's talk about Alzheimer's. What's the cause of Alzheimer's? The old age, like what they say? Nope, nothing. It has nothing to do with it. No. It has to do with multiple conflicts at once, like a constellation. It looks like a stars. It looks like the stars. From a German new medicine perspective, it's multiple conflicts. And when they do a CT, it looks like a bunch of scans highlighting. Okay? So get this, okay? I thought I had Alzheimer's too. My mom she's having signs of Alzheimer's because she's forgetting. That's the first sign of Alzheimer's, you forget. And I had that too, so I was scared. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God, I'm forgetting. When I had the 10%, I told you, like, maybe a couple months ago, I was forgetting. I was like, oh my God, I'm forgetting what's happening to me. I'm too young for this. There's no Alzheimer's in the family. And then I found German New Medicine, and then I was reading about, and it was saying that it's multiple constellation. So what was my conflict already? Okay, I had abandonment, refugee, and existential. That was 3 already. That's already a lot for my brain to take. And on top of that, I had separation. And boom, that's like a whole classic for sign of Alzheimer's. So when I started healing my kidneys, my memory came back. I healed my kidney, my memory came back, and then I dealt with the separation issue that came back. So now I could read a book. I could read 1 to 2 books. I don't feel separated. I dealt with the conflicts. And so if you deal with the conflicts, okay, of being separated, feeling separated, and abandoned, existential, and refugee, you can heal from Alzheimer's. Because my memory, I told you, I thought I was having Alzheimer's. I was forgetting, and I was crying one night. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to forget my kids. I'm going to forget my husband. I don't want that. And I eat good. I do everything good. And I was like, oh, I don't want to wake up one morning and forget them. And I'm too young for this. Why am I forgetting my family? And then I realized when people with kidney disease, Dr. Hammer said they need to be on sodium bicarb, because you got to bring you remember I told you it's a fish out of water feeling. So you want to bring them back into the environment that they feel safe in. So I did that. I laid in salt bath. It's like a fish out of water. So I went back and I laid in fish. I gave myself a lot of salt bath, and I also took baking soda. And I also did other natural remedies, but I had to go back and figure out the timeline where I felt this way. And I did find the timeline, because the last time I had kidney issue was when I came to America. Okay, I came to America. I felt like a refugee. Okay, and then what happened to me, and I felt abandoned by my country, or whatever that. There's a lot of junk. Okay? I felt abandoned, and right now we're going through the same thing. That's why my kidney function went from 33 to 10%. I figured out why. It was because I felt like a refugee again. Because we were traveling from places to place. We went from Arizona to Colorado. And then we went everywhere trying to find like a home. So I felt like a refugee. I didn't feel like, okay. And I also felt abandoned because I had to abandon my family. I had to leave them. And all those conflicts came back. And I felt like existential. We felt like that when we were being followed, and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? So it all makes sense why I went through that whole issue of my kidneys declining, because I went through that same thing. I was going through abandonment, refugee, existential conflict, all of that. So on top of that, I felt separated. I felt separated from my mother. I missed her I never seen her. I was so far away from my mother, right across the country, and I miss her. On top of that, that was a banging. That was a constellation. So if you did a CT in my head, you would see the highlight on the brain. You would see a highlight in my brainstem. You would see a highlight in my cerebral cortex, and you'd be like, oh my God, she has more than one constellation. And that's why people have Alzheimer's. But why is your body doing that? What's the purpose of it? Because it loves you. It's saying, oh my God, the pain of separation is so bad for you, and it's hurting you, so I'm going to make you forget it all. So, because that's the way we're programmed. So let me help you forget about all that memory so it doesn't hurt you anymore. So that's the simplified version. Tell me what you think. Comment, like, subscribe.